Ever feel like you're trapped in a never-ending mind game when no matter what you do, it's never enough? Narcissists will push, manipulate you, and drain you until there's nothing left unless you learn to fight back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set unshakable boundaries that even the most toxic narcissist can't break. Get ready because this is your power move. So how do you set boundaries with a narcissist? This is a comprehensive guide, and I'll start by saying that dealing with a narcissist can be emotionally draining and challenging, especially when they constantly push your limits, manipulate situations, and they try to control you. But setting boundaries is essential to protect your mental and emotional well-being. However, since narcissists often resist boundaries and view them as a personal attack, you must approach the process strategically, and this video will guide you through what boundaries are, why they are necessary, and how to effectively set and maintain them when dealing with a narcissist. And so let me start by talking about what boundaries are and why they matter, the benefits of boundaries. Boundaries are personal limits that define what behaviors you will and will not tolerate. They help establish a sense of control over your life, ensuring that others treat you with respect. And why is setting boundaries crucial? What are the benefits of setting boundaries? Basically, boundaries helps to protect your emotional health. Because narcissists gaslight, manipulate, and exploit others, boundaries shield you from their toxic behavior. Secondly, boundaries prevent codependency. Boundaries prevent codependency. Without boundaries, you may find yourself catering to their needs while neglecting your own. And thirdly, boundaries build self-respect. Boundaries build self-respect. Enforcing boundaries reinforces your self-worth and ensures that your needs are met. And last but not the least, boundaries reduce conflict and drama. And so clear boundaries minimize opportunities for narcissists to exploit or control you. However, narcissists have a strong dislike for boundaries because they thrive on power and control. They may react with anger, guilt tripping, blame, or even silent treatment when you set limits. But standing firm is essential for your well-being, and so stand gidigba. Unmovable, unshakable, because you belong to an unmovable kingdom. You belong to an unshakable kingdom, a kingdom whose builder and maker is God. And because you have God behind you, stand firm in your boundaries. Don't move, no matter what the narcissist does. And so let's continue by talking about how to set boundaries with a narcissist. The first thing is identify your limits. Identify your limits. Before confronting a narcissist, be clear about what behaviors are acceptable. Some examples include constant criticism or belittling, emotional manipulation, which involves guilt tripping or gaslighting and gaslighting. Also, controlling your decisions is a reason to set boundaries, and then disrespecting your time and energy is a reason to set boundaries. And last but not the least, crossing physical or emotional boundaries is enough reason for you to set boundaries. So identify your limits. That's the first thing when it comes to setting boundaries with a narcissist. Secondly, communicate your boundaries clearly and firmly. Communicate your boundaries clearly and firmly. And so when setting a boundary, use direct, assertive language without over-explaining or justifying yourself. Keep it simple and firm. Example statements: I won't tolerate being yelled at. If you raise your voice, I will leave this conversation. The second one example is I need time to myself. I won't always be available to respond immediately. The third example is I expect to be treated with respect. If you continue to insult me, I will walk away. Now, avoid long explanations because narcissists often twist words to manipulate you. And thirdly, when it comes to setting boundaries with a narcissist, enforce consequences when boundaries are crossed. Enforce consequences when boundaries are crossed. Setting boundaries is meaningless if you do not enforce them, and so be prepared to follow through with consequences if the narcissist disrespects your limits. And so examples of consequences: if they insult you, end the conversation and walk away. Second example of consequences is if they ignore your requests, reduce communication or limit interactions. Third example of consequences: if they try to guilt trip you, do not engage and firmly restate your boundaries. Consistency is key. Narcissists will test your limits to see if you will back down. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. God is with you. God is in you and God is for you. And so stand your ground. Be firm when it comes to boundary setting and enforcing consequences. And so when it comes to setting boundaries, the fourth step is detach emotionally and stop seeking their approval. Detach emotionally and stop seeking their approval. Narcissists often provoke emotional reactions to maintain control. Detach emotionally by staying calm and neutral when they try to provoke you. Also, don't take their insults personally, and also avoid engaging in unnecessary arguments. Remember, you do not need their validation or approval. We are still talking about setting boundaries with a narcissist, and the fifth step is avoid jade. Jade is JADE. So jade is acronym for justify, argue, defend, explain. Justify, argue, defend, explain. Jade. So avoid jade. Narcissists thrive on arguing and twisting your words. Avoid falling into the jade trap by keeping your responses short and firm. For example, instead of explaining why you need space, just say, I'm unavailable right now. Also, another example is instead of arguing about their toxic behavior, say, I will not tolerate being spoken to that way. The less you engage, the less power they have over you. The sixth step when it comes to setting boundaries with a narcissist is limit contact or go no contact if necessary. Limit contact or go no contact if necessary. And so limit contact if you are co-parenting, for instance, you cannot go no contact totally, and so you can limit contact in that wise, or you can go no contact totally, whatever works for you. If the narcissist in your life is highly toxic and refuses to respect your boundaries, limiting or cutting contact may be the best option. And so options include low contact, reducing interactions, keeping conversations minimal and focused. Also gray rocking, which involves responding with boring, unemotional, one-word answers to make yourself uninteresting. And then going no contact, which means completely cutting off ties, and especially in abusive situations. And so completely cut off ties in abusive situations. So how do you handle the narcissist reaction to boundaries? How do you handle the narcissist reactions to boundaries? When you set boundaries, expect resistance, manipulation, or even rage from the narcissist. Here's how to handle common reactions. Anger or rage. They may yell, insult, or threaten you. Stay calm and do not engage. If necessary, walk away. Secondly, they may guilt trip you. They may say things like, after all I've done for you, this is how you treat me, or you are so selfish. They may say you are so selfish. Response. Your response should always be, I understand you feel that way, but my decision stands. And the third way to handle the narcissist reactions to boundaries is to use the silent treatment. They will ignore you to punish you. Do not chase them. Let them sit with it. And so allow them to sit with their feelings. Don't chase them whenever they ignore you or use a silent treatment. Also, they will play the victim, and so they may act like they are the ones being hurt. Don't fall for it. Stick to your boundaries. So when the narcissist acts out and plays the victim because you are setting boundaries and enforcing them, don't fall for it. Stick to your boundary. Also, they may love bomb or make fake apologies, fake remorse. Don't fall for it. They may love bomb you, and so they may suddenly be nice to win you back. Don't be fooled. Maintain your boundaries. Don't fall for the fake remorse or the fake apologies. So my final thoughts basically is setting boundaries with a narcissist is difficult. Let's be realistic. It is hard. but it is crucial for your mental and emotional well-being. The key is clarity, consistency, and enforcing consequences. Expect resistance. It will come, but do not let their reactions sway you. Remember, you have the right to protect your peace. God will not do for you what you can do for yourself. And so rise up and protect your peace. Your peace is worth more than you can ever imagine. And so go ahead and set boundaries today. Now, what tip or idea excites you the most in this video? And let me know in the comments, and go ahead and share this video with a friend, and also hit the subscribe button to become a member of the Iyabo Oyawale community, where we support one another to release thought trauma and also to heal from narcissistic abuse.